everyone getting hyped up for game one on Thursday. And Carey Price is doing a conditioning stint with Laval just 4 days before he'll hit the ice in game one. How concerned are you about that? Give me the juice on this situation.
Well, the fact that the Laval Rocket are playing the Toronto Marlies makes it a little bit more concerning. There's a risk-reward element to this, and I'm going to be as honest as I was about Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Mike Smith and Darnell Nurse playing against the Canadiens last week in a completely meaningless game for them. I'm not a big fan of taking risks like this. If it ends up going that one of the guys gets injured, and Gallagher or Price, people are going to absolutely freak out here, and deservedly so. But the other side of it is, and unlike that situation with Edmonton, Carey Price hasn't played a game in a month. And you look at Frederik Andersen, who just went down for the Leafs to play some game action in the AHL. I understand that Jack Campbell is starting the series, but I think the Leafs are going to have to rely on Frederik Andersen at some point if they're going to go on a run here. And the Canadiens, we know who they need to rely on. It's number 31 in red, and he needs to feel some game action because it's different than just practicing.
Well, every Sportsnet hockey persona selected the Leafs to move on in this series, but you're the only one, Eric, who said that it could happen in 7 games. Why is that, and how much does Price sway that decision for you? Can he steal a couple games here?
Well, he sways it a lot because of the fact that he's been phenomenal in the playoffs in his last 4 times being there. And obviously since the Olympics, he's just been one of the best goalies in the world when it comes to the games that matter most. The reason I picked the Leafs in 7 is because it's hard for me to go against the logic of what I've seen from both teams, not necessarily against each other, but throughout their entire seasons. And for Montreal, it's been a bit of a struggle. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, I see a team that has matured quite a bit, both in their talented superstars that have found the way they need to play to be successful at this time of year, and the guys that Kyle Dubas brought in that help reinforce that key message that you can't just go out scoring your problems. You have to find a way to play defensively and lock down games. And I think we saw the Leafs do that. I think we saw them also face some adversity with a losing streak in the middle of the season, which I think was pivotal in them being able to deal with the pressure that's on them. And I do believe this series is going to go the distance because I look around that Montreal room and there is a bunch of guys in there that you can circle and say, these guys know how to elevate. So I can't wait for it to get started. And like I said on Twitter, nothing will surprise me. If the Canadiens end up pulling it out, it's the reason why I said this series is going to go 7. I believe it's going to be extremely competitive.
Couldn't agree more with you on that, Ian. You mentioned how Price is a beast come playoffs, 71 stints in postseason play to a whole whopping 0 from Jack Campbell. So how short do you think his leash will be in that game 1 situation?
Well, it has to be reasonably short. And I think Jack Campbell had a phenomenal season. You can't take away anything from what he did and establishing a record for the consecutive wins, taking it from Carey Price, actually. And he was just great and a total anchor for the team. And you look at his persona off the ice and how much of a great teammate he is, you know that the Leafs are going to rally around him, make sure that his life is as easy as it can be in a situation that is as difficult as it can be. So I'm expecting big things from Campbell. I'm expecting, obviously, that Frederik Andersen being behind him means that he's got to be on top of his game. And we are talking about a goalie who in the past has been hard on himself. Even this year when he was going great and he had one rough game, he started to go hard on himself. And I think Kelly Rudy pointed that out quite a bit on the Hockey Night in Canada broadcast. He was absolutely right. And he knows, speaking from experience, there's not a lot of value in putting yourself down when you're under that spotlight and under that pressure. So it's going to be fascinating to watch that goaltending matchup. And I think from the Canadiens' end, they have to look at it as an opportunity to really create a seed of doubt by getting to him in game 1. So this first game, we still have to wait a few days for it, but there's a lot on the line.
Absolutely. And if this weekend's hockey was any indication of the caliber of play